How do you make a 3D cake without actually doing any cake carving at all? How do you make a 3D cake without any internal supports where the cake supports itself? In this tutorial, you will find out exactly how easy this is to do. Now, this was quite rushed. I only had a few hours to do it in. There will be more coming soon, different animals, because there is another mould available that I need to show you how to use. But all the details are in this tutorial, and if you would like to purchase one, simply have a look in the description below this video. Happy baking, everyone. This is one you don't want to miss. Today I'm going to be using Robbins Creature Creator Kit. Now this is the sitting down kit. It comes with a couple of tutorials with a visual guide inside, and I will leave a link for this product for you in the description below this video. There is no cake carving required at all, no internal supports. It saves so much mess, and it's the equivalent to an 8-inch cake. You can pre-order yours now from Molly Robbins' official website. Grease your cake mould with either some stalk or butter. Now you want to add your cake batter evenly to both parts of the mould. Here I have made my Victoria sponge recipe, and it's just the right amount to fill each half of this mould bang up to the top. If you would like to use this recipe, I will leave a link for it in the description below the video. Simply fill both of these up until they are completely level. I baked mine on a slightly lower temperature on 170 degrees centigrade for 50 minutes. Whilst our cake is in the oven, I'm going to make a start decorating the cake board. Now I'm using the Sweet Stamp by Amy Cakes Sweet Sticks set. Now these are a fantastic embossing set if you haven't used them yet. Simply take a small piece of tacky fondant and remove the lettering required for your cake drum. To cover a 12-inch round cake drum, roll out 750 grams of fondant of a colour of your choice. I have rolled mine in between 5mm spaces to keep it lovely and even, and simply place this on your wet cake drum. I have brushed this down first with a small amount of cooled down boiled water. Take a smoother, go over the top and the sides and cut off any excess fondant. As a general guide for where my cake is going to go, I'm just using this small 6-inch round cake tin so that I know where to place it, and it will help me with my lettering. In order to use the sweet stamps correctly, you simply line them up and gently push them down into the fondant. I will now add some images to show you how I remove them and the effect that it leaves behind. I find tweezers the best way to remove them, and as you can see, it leaves a beautiful embossed effect ready for you to paint in a colour of your choice. Once your cakes are baked, trim off the tops with a sharp knife. Now we need to add some buttercream, sandwich both of these together and then completely crumb coat. Now I'm choosing to add the buttercream to the top of one of them whilst it's actually still in the mould, and then I'm simply going to place the other one on top. Once I have done this, I will stand it up on that piece of baking parchment which is on a cake board, where I can then crumb coat it and place it in the fridge before covering in fondant. Now simply cover the whole cake with plenty of buttercream and then place it in a fridge for about 45 minutes to an hour. The hotter the weather, the longer it will take to go nice and hard again. Once your cake's lovely and set, here I have rolled out 1.25 kilogram of white fondant. I have rolled this in between spaces, and then using a large rolling pin, you simply want to drape it directly over your cake and start to negotiate those pleats. Don't worry if any of this tears slightly. It's quite a difficult cake to actually cover. You can do the wrapping round method where you actually take the fondant and wrap it around the sides instead. But the more you do things like this and the more practice you get, the easier it will become. Completely do this, smooth it all out and cut off any excess fondant. Now I'm just going to add a few simple features, and then using a tool I'm going to create more of a fur effect for the actual rabbit. Keeping all of the shapes very simple, all I have done is started with a basic sausage shape, and then I've cut this in half just so that both of the feet end up the same size. I will then be making the backs of these slightly smaller so that I can wrap them straight on to the bunny before I make them more defined. You will notice I've just added a few indentations there for the bunny's toes, and I'm simply going to repeat that process, but this time it's for his arms and they will be resting directly onto his feet. This is going to be a bit more of a cone shape because this needs to stick more to the side of the actual cake. Okay, so now using this tool, I just want to add a very, very simple but effective fur sort of effect without needing to pipe anything. And I'm literally just going over that fondant with this tool. Now, you need to do this obviously before the fondant has started to set, so it needs to be fresh. That's why I have only added the arms and the legs up to now. Completely go over your cake and cover all of it so that it looks like fur. If you wanted to, you could actually pipe buttercream fur and make your bunny even more fluffy. So this is the sort of effect that you're looking to aim to achieve. Now I'm just going to be adding a very basic mouth, a few goofy teeth, some ears, obviously the eyes. I will speed this process up for you. These moulds literally came the day before Easter, and I had literally a matter of hours to bake the cake, do this tutorial, edit it and do it so that you guys could see it and maybe purchase some of Molly Robbins' amazing new innovative product. The main aim of this tutorial was just to actually see how good these molds are, and I can tell you now they are amazing. They are extremely high quality, they're really nice and thick, really good to wash, very easy to wash. But my cakes baked so evenly. I was really, really surprised because normally you can struggle with silicone molds, not with these ones. I highly recommend them, and remember at the moment when this tutorial was published, they are only pre-order. I was very lucky to get mine so early. So take a look at her website, guys, and I will speed this section up for you. Just so you know, for the bows, I've actually used a Karen Davis mould, and I've just added a little bit of the blue to the insides of the feet and the hands. Now, for these moulds, I like to use Trex vegetable fat. Simply place it in the mould. I'm just using fondant here, not modelling paste. I'm going to put it directly in there, and then I'll show you just how easy they are to take out afterwards. Because I've chosen to do my Easter bunny in white, I'm using a grey edible tint just to give it a little bit more colour. But you may have already done your rabbit in grey, so obviously not going to need to do this part. If you're not used to using edible tint brushes, simply just place them onto a palette. Make sure there's not too much on your brush, and you literally just brush over parts of the cake and take your time with it. Once I've done this, I'm then actually going to place this into the fridge. This is just because I need all of the fondant to go really, really hard, so that I'm physically able to pick it up without damaging it and place it on that decorated cake drum. This will be really easy now to add to the decorated cake drum. I've literally picked up the cake, as you can see. I haven't damaged it, and I've been able to place it directly on there and actually move it just until it's in the correct position. That's how I do all of my decorated cakes. I place them in the fridge first. Now I want to add an egg. I've added a little bow to the egg as well. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I thought it would be perfect for Easter. So it really is as easy as that. Once again, if you want to purchase one of the Molly Robbins Creature Creator Moulds, there is a link to her official website in the description below this video. Thank you all for your amazing support. I hope I've helped you again today. This mould is definitely one to have in your cake studio. Happy baking, guys, and I'll be back again soon.